welcome back to MS4L. And we tuned in back into after that game, you know what I'm saying, with the Chiefs and the Falcons game. It was a close game, 22-17. Man, it was a close game. It was a real tight game. Well, sure, that had me off the edge. Well, that defense was they held it down. And Mahomes, man, he came back from, he corrected. He always corrected what he messed up, but I think he still have to clean it up. It's kind of weird, but I guess he just get it out of his system. You know what I'm saying, right now than later. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And I think he did great running the ball. He was consistent. At the end, looked like he kind of getting beat up a little bit, but he still came back in, kept doing what he was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying, filling in for Pacheco. So that was cool. And then Juju got his touchdown. And then Rice, boy, he was holding it down. Boy, he was a straight beast out there. Boy, he gonna get 1,000 yards. He gonna be a top receiver this year, looking like. So
did you catch what had happened to Rice when he went down? Because I didn't get to hear what they had.
I don't know. It looked like it was just like a hit in the chest or something. To me,
okay. Did he end up coming back in?
Yeah, he came back in. He was good.
I couldn't remember after that happened. I don't think he had any more catches after that, so I was just kind of watching where the football went, so I couldn't remember if he actually came back in the game. I'm sure he might have been out there though, because they was kind of running a lot more in the second half anyway. So
yeah, this Sunday night was great, man. I definitely enjoyed it, man. Bolton, he showed his ass on that defense, man. I'm glad he was good and stayed healthy and came back in.
Yeah, I was just letting you talk. I got a lot of stuff to say about tonight's game, so I was just letting you get.
So I would say anything else. The Falcons was pretty good. I knew they was gonna come out and show more than what I thought they would. Pitts, they held him down. He got that one catch and them 2 catches, and that was it. And
well, that's all he needed. That's all he needed. He did damage. He did damage. You know what I mean?
He didn't do too much damage to me, I don't think, but that did hurt us real good though, right there. But Ray and McCall, he was doing more than. I mean, he was definitely. I almost thought he was gone on one. He was almost gone. But it was just that defense, man. Like they held it down though. Rice, man, he that man, boy. We good. I ain't even worried about it. But it was a tight game. I'm glad we won. I'm glad we held it down. And I'm ready for the next game.
Yeah. One game at a time, bro. It's one game at a time, man. It's a marathon. Like Brother Nick used to say, it's a marathon. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But you just gotta keep stacking these wins, man.
Yeah, we play the Chargers. We play Chargers next, so it's cool with me. So we I know. See the Chargers, they lost to the Raiders, right?
The Raiders played the Panthers today.
The Raiders played. Oh yeah, they showed it. Okay.
I forgot what the Chargers played. I think they did lose though, but I forgot what they played against. But I know it wasn't the Raiders though.
Okay.
But is that kind of your initial reaction, like right after the game, what you just spoke on?
Huh?
So was that like your initial reaction after what you just got to saying? That was kind of like your thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll let you go ahead and take it.
Well, I saw a lot in this game. The game went pretty much like I thought. Like when we did our little pre-game discussion or analysis of the game, predictions and all that. I remember me, you, and Mom was talking the other day, and I had said my prediction for the game was what I said 27-17. So I was 5 points off, but it went pretty close to how I thought it was going to go. I would say that I don't like my heart does not like these type of games. You know what I'm saying? Like the last 3 minutes was stressful. However, I love the way the last 3 minutes played out for a multitude of reasons. You know what I'm saying? And I'll get to that in a minute. But first off, I say like early on in the game, I think there was a lot of good things that came from this game. To me as a fan. So like one of the first things that jumps out at this particular game for me was this is week 3, so I didn't get to see this in week 1 or 2 really, and probably because it wasn't quite as necessary to do. But and it's weird because those two first games were against like some of our biggest rivals in the conference and against two teams that basically get to go to the playoffs every year, and we know we're gonna and we're gonna see those two teams again. We know that so those were two tough games, and you would expect to see this against the Bengals, or you would expect to see this happen against the Ravens, but it really didn't happen in my opinion. Like tonight, where it stood out to me, and that thing is, I saw a lot of adjustments tonight from the coaching staff from half number 1 to half number 2, and they were outstanding adjustments, and that's the mark of I saw a lot of things actually tonight that are the mark of a championship team, but that's the first thing I want to touch on is like the ability of both sides of the ball, coaching staff wise, to make adjustments that needed to be made were made. It was very apparent in the second half that the adjustments that were made on offense. They really kind of committed to the run a lot more. I think that in the first half, it seemed like Carson Steele was running a little timid to me. I mean, like, I don't know if I was about to say the Ravens, I'm thinking the wrong bird. If the Falcons read the scouting report or heard some hype about Carson Steele and got pumped up, but it looked like in the first half they were just keying off on him. Like every time he got the ball, they was like, "Nah, not today, not against us." You know what I'm saying? That's how they was coming. They was attacking Carson Steele.
He almost had 100 yards. He had 72 yards, about 4 yards averaging.
Yeah, but I think the first half when he had like 30 or less, like they were holding him to about 2 to 3 yards a touch in the first half. But you saw those adjustments get made. I don't know if it was like
Mahomes throwing the ball, Rice and shit.
I don't know if it was. I don't know if they made like blocking up front type of adjustments. I know they was pulling Tooney around on some of those runs in the second half. They was pulling Tooney from the left guard. But all of a sudden in the second half, it's like he was getting 6 yards a pop, like 6, 7, 8, 5, 6. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the first half he was like 2, 3, 2, like that. So you could see a huge adjustment. And whatever they saw on tape at halftime, they made some kind of adjustment with the way they was blocking it up front, and the run game started coming alive with Carson, and he was running really hard. I mean, I know he left the game briefly. I think he what it looked like to me, it looked like he fell on the football. So that'll knock the hair out of you for a player too. But he came back in. That's cool. Like for a minute there, I was getting a little nervous, man. It seemed like we had players kind of dropping like flies, like Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa went down a couple times tonight, but he's a warrior, man. Like, he stayed in there, finished the game. That's what you want to see from your quarterback. I call Nick the quarterback because he got the green dot on defense. He's the defensive quarterback. So that's what you want to see. That's leadership. And that's a young player too.
I know that. No, go ahead.
No, you make your point.
I was about to say that interception, man, was crazy from Connor, man. That Warden got in there and tipped that mug, man.
Yeah, Warden's been playing good. I'm gonna get around to the defense in a second. Just kind of think while I'm talking if you can remember some defensive plays, because I'm gonna circle back to them in a minute. But I'm gonna start on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know. Once again, it's like when you watch Patrick Mahomes play, like he sets up a high standard for himself that I would call it a game like he had tonight, like a mediocre game for him. But he played well. He threw the pick. That wasn't nice, but I'm the type of fan. As long as you got more at the end of the day, you got more touchdown passes than you have interceptions, then I'll forgive it. So I think he had like 2 TDs versus the one pick. But all overall, he played, a good game. But by his standards, he's still not firing on all cylinders yet. But that's okay because when you know that your all-world quarterback isn't playing up to his standard, and the offense isn't really gelling yet and clicking the way we're used to seeing it, and you still winning football games against opponents that's giving you everything they got, to me that's still a good sign. Like we talked about this, before, basically saying the Chiefs, have been going out here giving C effort games, you know what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
beating teams that
Mhm.
are giving you their A+ effort. I
Yeah.
wouldn't call today's effort a C game. I said, earlier before the game, I had said that I wanted to at least see a B- to a B effort. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, I think tonight, all overall for the team, I think we saw. I'll give it a B- effort. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because I thought that Carson still did a good job. You know what I'm saying, for a rookie. This is his first start in the NFL. This is a guy that was an undrafted free agent that most of us, including myself, expected to end up on the practice squad, and he made the 53. And then next thing you know, he's already out here on the field having to start. So I think that he did a good job handling the pressure and handling the responsibility that he got. He got off to a slow start, but like I said, actually, in the first half, watching him run it and be the man, I kind of thought it was going to go like that. I was like, I don't know, like everybody in the kingdom was real hype about him. I remember when you was talking, you was like, you think he gonna be rookie of the year? I'm like that's like
Yeah.
him, like like I know y'all like him, but come on, man. But so the first half he kind of looked like I thought he was gonna look. I'm like, yeah, it's one thing when you out here in preseason going up against second and third stringers, but when you the starting running back, in a prime time game on national TV, and this team is chomping at the bit, to get at you because they trying to measure they team off of yours, you're gonna see a different type of energy from that defense, and I wanted to see how he was gonna adjust to that. In the first half, they was
Mhm.
stuffing him, they was shutting him down. You know what I'm saying? But he ended
Yeah.
up getting it going. He stuck with it. So I'll give a tip of the cap to Carson Steele. Offensively, the other thing, I'm giving my pros. Uh, I think the offensive line played a lot better uh, as far as protecting Mahomes compared to what happened last week. And a lot of that probably had to do with the play of Wanye Morris at left tackle. We didn't see Sulma
Yeah.
Saeed in there too often. Like I know Andy said he was gonna play both of them, but shoot, every time I looked up, I seen Wanye Morris in there. He did a pretty good job against Matthew Judon, who's one of the better pass rushers in the NFL. Everybody would agree with that. But for the most part, we saw Patrick Mahomes, jersey stay clean and him stay upright, not take too many hits, like that. Because I know, and we'll get to the defense in a minute, but I know that Kirk Cousins is gonna probably have a headache tomorrow. But other positives I've seen on offense, you already touched on the biggest positive, which was Rasheed Rice. Once again, I said this after game one when we talked about it. I'm going to say it again. Like
Mhm.
he looked different,
Definitely.
man. Like he
Woo.
looked good last year. He did. He
He
looked
look
good. Like
great.
he had a really good season last year, but he does not look
Yeah.
like the same player. He doesn't.
Man, he look more
He looks like he has
stronger,
taken
more
a huge
faster.
step forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks quicker. He looks stronger. I
Stronger.
mean, he was strong
You
last
see
year,
how
but he looks even
he
stronger.
you see how he split the two dudes? I'm like, damn, how he get past them dudes? I'm like, dang, he just put his head down and just go in. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, it was just bouncing off of people
He
all night. He was spinning off of people and just keep going. So
yeah.
he played like
Look.
it's like they got to invent a new position for Rasheed Rice because the perfect term for what he does in the offense to me, and I didn't create this. I heard somebody else say it talking about the Chiefs one time, but it was a perfect description. They call him a power slot. That's what he is, and that's exactly what he played like. Like he's a
Yeah.
slot. He played in the slot, a slot receiver. But when you think of a slot receiver, you think of people like Wes Welker, like a smaller, quick. You know what I'm saying? Small,
Yeah.
quick kind of twitchy dude. But this dude is like almost 215 pounds, man. Like and he's strong.
Mm.
But he's playing in the slot. But he's quick enough to play in the slot. You know what I'm saying? Even at that size, and it's like that's kind of a strange thing that you don't see in the NFL that often. Like a receiver his size and his kind of strength playing in the slot position primarily. You know what I'm saying? Like I know he'll bounce outside sometimes, but usually he's lined up inside. You know, more than that's where he eats the most is inside. So you know he's created to me a new position called the power slot, and he is eating in that power slot. Like this is the second game out of the first three that he went over 100. You know what I'm saying? And, I mean, he's looking really good, man. Like I was holding my breath when he went down for that little minute because I was like, okay, well, he's literally like the only receiver doing something out here for the first 3 weeks. So if we lose him, we're gonna be in trouble because Hollywood ain't walking through that door anytime soon. And you know, I'm not expecting a bunch from Worthy, at least not at this point in time in the season. I'll start looking at him to produce more probably after week 10, you know, week 12 up in there. Like you know, he a rookie. You got to cut his teeth. You know, whatever we can get from him.
Yeah.
You know, right now you kind of got to take that and be happy with it. Just as long as he's getting better each week, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm expecting out of him. And what I did see that mistake that he made that almost cost us the game. Well, I'm not gonna crush him for it because it's a rookie mistake, but I hope that he's just the type of rookie. I hope all our rookies are like that. You know, that when they make a mistake, they can go back and look at the film and correct that and don't make it over and over. So, you know, you made a mistake tonight. It could have cost us the game. Thankfully, it did not. Don't make that mistake again. And the play I'm talking about was a third down play on the second to last possession when we could have, you know, got a couple of first downs and ended the game. But he sat down in the middle of the field on a drag route, and it looked like Patrick Mahomes just made an errant throw that, you know, like who was he throwing to? Like, what happened on that? Like, it's third down. Like, you just threw it to, you know, a dead space on the field. Like, now we got to give him another opportunity. But that wasn't on Mahomes. That was on Worthy because he stopped. Worthy was he was supposed to drag that route all the way across the field. And you could tell if he had kept running, Patrick would have hit him right in stride, and he would have picked up a first down, but he stopped and sat down in the middle of the field. That's why the throw looked like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at Patrick at first before I saw the replay like, the hell was you doing right there, bro? You know, and then I saw what Worthy did. I'm like, you supposed to keep running, little bro. But I saw Patrick on the sideline talking to him, so hopefully when I get in the film room this week and he sees what he did there, he'll make that, you know, he won't do that again in the future because that ultimately could have led to, you know, costing us that game because we ended up having to give the ball back to them and give them an opportunity to win it. You know what I'm saying? They should have never got the football back.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was kind of shaky after that. Real shaky after that.
Yeah, if he doesn't make that mistake, if he doesn't make that rookie mistake, you know, we probably convert a first down right there and go on and run the clock out, and Atlanta never gets the ball back. So he kind of put the team in a tough position. You know, one last point as far as offense. Hey man, I'm not trying to, you know, overreact, and I'm not gonna overreact, but I am gonna say this. At this point in time, I feel like it's about time to put Travis Kelce on a milk carton, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if Father Time, you know, has caught up to you because Father Time is undefeated, but this week just felt like more of the same. Like from what we've seen the first 3 weeks, I mean, he made a few more grabs, I believe, this week, but it wasn't nothing like to write home about it. He's not looking like the Travis Kelce that we know and love at all. He's not looking remotely close to that. And I don't know if this is a phase that he's going through. I don't know if he's pacing himself or what's going on, but
I ain't lost faith in it. I just think they know they just feeding the people that's hot. You know what I'm saying? But he got a couple of good ones to get him going a little bit. But
I will say this:
they just taking their time. I ain't lost faith in him. No, he coming.
Yeah, I ain't lost faith in him. I'm getting a little concerned. My concern meter. Put it like this: I'm about to do this week to week till he starts looking like Travis Kelce. We'll do it on a scale of 1 to 10.
Because I wouldn't have stopped throwing the Rice either. Because Rice, boy, they seem like they couldn't stop him. They couldn't find no answer for him.
Well, let's do this on a scale of 1 to 10. But like, what's up? My concern meter right now for Kelce is at a 3.
My concern.
Yeah, like my concern. Yeah, my concern meter is at a 3 right now. I'm starting to raise the eyebrow. Like, all right, bro. Like, you know. First 2 games, we had 40 yards in the first 2 games.
I think mine is just a 2. This is just a 2. I ain't really concerned too much.
Yeah, I ain't gonna jump out the window and overreact, but I'm starting.
So we saved him anyway. I mean, that's why I know you said that we can't save nobody, but I don't know if it's accidental. But on the other end, I mean, for real, I mean, taking his time. He just need a couple of plays and get warmed up and like that. And then once he in there, keep throwing it. Shit, then he cool. So I ain't worried about it. As long as he don't get hurt, because everybody else was dropping like flies. So shit,
Yeah,
keep
man,
him
we
fresh. Keep,
running out of
keep him
bodies.
fresh. Keep him
But
fresh. Shit.
I will say this one good thing I will say too that I did not see tonight. They didn't try, and when I say they, I'm talking about the coaches. Andy Reid, or Patrick Mahomes. I didn't see them trying to force feed Travis Kelce, and I've seen that in past years when Kelsey's off to a slow start or he's been struggling a little bit with his production. They'll start trying to force the ball to him, and they didn't do that, which is the right thing to do. Like, because even though he's not really doing a lot on the field, numbers wise, in the first 3 weeks, he is still drawing a lot of coverage toward him, which is giving other people other opportunities. So I'm glad that Mahomes wasn't forcing him the football and was just going through his progressions and going through his reads and delivering the ball where it needed to be. Which tonight was in Rashee Rice's hands. I think he had like 11 catches tonight, which is that's
Yeah,
like
12.
12.
12.
Okay. So that's the type of stuff Travis Kelce used to do in the offense. So now
Yep.
as long as somebody is going to be the lead dog and step up and provide the production that they need, I don't really care
12
where
is
it comes from.
110.
Okay, I don't really care who's producing as long as somebody's getting it done. So right now it looks like Rashee is probably going to be the guy as far as the number one receiver. He's definitely the number one receiver, but I'm talking about number one receiver all overall over Kelsey. Like Kelsey might be the second target at the moment the way they're looking on offense, but that's pretty much you know what I saw
On
tonight
offense.
offensively. Yeah.
So what's up
What?
on the defense, man? Man, Duffy, man, my boy, he got that flag, that pass interference. I don't even think that was a pass interference though. That was kind of weird. They was throwing
We
flags
gonna we gonna we gonna get to
from
that.
like
We gonna get to
they
that.
was throwing, they was throwing flags like crazy.
We gonna get to that. Defensively, I think we played a really good game. Let's see. Yeah, we look like we got back to normal on defense this week. Like last week, I mentioned that I wasn't really overly concerned with them giving up 25 to the Bengals, because that's Joe Burrow, that's a good offense, and we turned the ball over 3 times. So you're gonna give up points when you do that. This week they had 1 turnover, so we got offense clean that up a little bit better. Still would like to see 0 turnovers, and I got my concern meter for Patrick Mahomes is at a 3 as well, because he's thrown a pick in every game so far this year, and that's really not like him. I don't expect that to continue. I'm just pointing that out. I am aware of that. That okay, man, like you're throwing a pick every week. That's not you. Cut it out. You know what I mean? But at least it was only one this week. But on the defensive side of the ball, uh, I think that it was a tell of 2 halves again, and different adjustments being made. I think they were giving up way too much on the ground in the first half. They tightened that up in the second half. Did a much better job on Robinson. He got a few nice runs off, but all overall in the second half, I think they shut that down pretty nice. You had mentioned earlier they, hit Kyle Pitts on a long one, 50 yards. I mean, that was rough, but we survived it. At least they didn't let him go crazy on him because he does got that, have that type of ability. So they got caught by him once, but it didn't happen twice, so that's good. Um, I think the game turned when Atlanta lost those two offensive linemen because you could see it almost immediately after that. And it's weird, you rarely see that happen, but I know the first offensive lineman went down for him. And then on the very next play, they lost their center. So I think they lost
Yeah.
they lost their right tackle, and then right after they lost their right tackle, they lost their center. And you could see it. Like right after that happened, the D line started hunting. Like they was getting in there on every play. They was hunting after that. So
Yeah, it was
it
crazy.
just goes to show,
Good.
like not trying to live, have revisionist history here, but it is infuriating to me as a Chiefs fan when, because we got a lot of haters. Let's be real about it. We got a lot of haters out there,
It
and
was
like,
a lot of us over there in the crowd. It was packed with KC Chiefs fans, man.
I'm
The
talking about
parents in the
I'm talking
building.
about online, man. That's where all the NFL
Oh,
fans
okay.
are. They're online.
Oh,
They're not
okay.
in the stadium in Atlanta. They're online. Like so, we have a bunch of haters from every fan base, and I know why they hate us because they hate us because they're not us. But the one thing that the only thing they can hang their hat on over the last several years when they try to talk greasy about our squad is they like to point back to that Super Bowl that we lost to Tom Brady and the Buccaneers when we got blew out, but they never like to mention that we was missing, you know, three starters on the offensive line at least. I think it was at least three. It might have been four. And Patrick Mahomes was playing that game with turf toe. Nobody ever wants to bring that up. But you can see in tonight's game, just losing two of your starting offensive linemen, how much havoc that can cause. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we wasn't getting that type of pressure until they lost that right. When they lost their starting right tackle and they center, the next thing you know, they was getting in there on every single play. They was hitting Kirk Cousins every time he dropped back. He was getting hit because they know he's not mobile. He can't move. He's just coming off that Achilles injury from 2 seasons ago, so he's not really mobile like that no more. So, Kirk is kind of like a sitting duck in the pocket, and if you can get to him, you can rattle him, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
It affected their passing game.
Yeah.
I think Kirk was in there seeing ghosts because he's an older quarterback and he kept getting touched constantly, getting hit.
And that Cook play, you think that was a pass interference?
We're gonna get to that. I'm getting to that. Like, that's the last thing I'm gonna talk about after I finish talking about the defense. So yeah, I think Touchdown Warden is showing me a lot. Touchdown Warden been hurt off and on like the last 2 or 3 seasons. Like, he ain't really been able to put a good body of work together the last couple of years, but he keep hanging on the roster and all that. But this year he's healthy for the first time, and he played a good game last week. He played a better game this week. So I'm enthused to see how he looks going forward. I got to get a game ball. If I'm giving out a game ball, I'm giving that to Nick Bolton because he was a warrior tonight. Like, dude got hurt multiple times and kept coming back in the game and playing. And I mean, he was the biggest player of the game. He showed up and showed out, man. That play was like textbook middle linebacker play. Like, the way he diagnosed that play and shot the gap and brought that running back down. That was like the textbook tackle, man. Like, he did that just how you're supposed to do it as a middle linebacker. That's the type of play that's gonna get him his money at the end of the year when it's time for him to get his contract together. Plays like that. So I gotta tip my cap to him. Like, I mean, that's a gotta have the type of play that he made right there. Like, everything's on the line, game's on the line. Like, he stepped up. Like, he ended that game. And what's so impressive about that play to me is that it was Nick Bolton. I don't ever recall Nick Bolton's made a lot of big plays for the Chiefs, don't get me wrong. But I don't ever recall Nick Bolton making a finishing play for the Chiefs. That's normally something that Chris Jones would do, right? In a situation like that, Chris Jones is normally the guy that comes up with the big play.
I don't even think he was out there either, though.
Yeah, Chris Jones wasn't even on the field on that play. He was on the sideline. Yeah. And Nick Bolton stepped up and made a finishing play. So it's nice to see that he's got that in him. And, when the game is on the line and the pressure's on the line, he can rise to the occasion and make a play. I thought Trent played really well tonight. I thought the whole secondary played pretty well tonight. They're young and they're getting better every week. So I do need Brian Cook to learn how to turn his head and look for the football, but that's neither here nor there.
It could have been a pick with that, but luckily they
he never looked for the ball. He never. That's just a bad habit that he got. He never looks for the football. He's got to cut that out for real. Jalen Watson has a bad habit of not turning his head as well. But they are work in progress. They're still young, but we can get to the flags. You asked me about the McDuffie play. No, that wasn't pass interference, not at all. But I was like, me personally, I'm glad things went the way they went, and we still got the win. Like, if we didn't win the game, I would probably be in a different mood right now. I'd probably be livid. I wouldn't be blaming the refs, though, because I don't believe in that. But it was obvious, man, the last 3 minutes of that game, there were a lot of... All I was thinking when I was watching it, man, was like, yeah, it was frustrating as a fan to see some of these calls that was going against us, but the main thing that was on my mind was, the conversation we had a couple of days ago when I was talking to you about, how all these fans be crying about calls or crying for calls or this, that, and the other, and that's what I was thinking about when that was happening in the last 3 minutes. We got at least 3 or 4 big penalties go against us the final 3 minutes of that game, especially the last drive that Atlanta had. And all I was thinking to
Mhm.
myself was, I hope everyone's seeing this. All these fan bases that keep whining and crying, talking about the Chiefs always get all the calls, and you know the refs are bailing us out week in and week out. Hey, the refs did us no favors tonight, and I'm hoping everybody. And I guarantee you tomorrow, none of these people on the national media shows that have been whining about certain calls. Because like, think about it. It's almost a conspiracy to me now. At least with Chris Collinsworth. He does this to the Chiefs, and I'm gonna point this out so going forward, they play any more Sunday night games, you can pay attention to Chris Collinsworth. It started to me last year because I remember they played that game on Sunday Night Football. It might have been the first game of the year, and the new right tackle, Jawan Taylor, kept leaving his stance early. He was doing it all night.
Yeah, he was kind of
And
like
Chris Collinsworth kept
hard.
talking about it
Yeah,
all night through the whole game. He kept pointing it out on replay. He's leaving early. That's a penalty right there. That's a penalty right there. And the following week,
Yeah,
I
right
think
on the
Jawan
head.
Taylor got like
Yeah,
5 flags for that on the following week, right?
yeah.
So I was seeing that again tonight. So it's like now it's starting to feel like the national media is even feeding into it, trying to get calls to go against us or something because that one play on the I can't remember if it was I think it was the second to last drive that Atlanta had where Brian Cook hit old boy in the back of the end zone. He got there early. That was definitely pass interference on Brian Cook, and they didn't call it. It was definitely pass interference. They didn't call it though. But Chris Collinsworth went out of his way to show the replay in slow motion and point out that the Chiefs got away with a pass interference call. He went out of his way to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, is this some kind of conspiracy theory? Like even the commentators are trying to lobby for more flags against the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? But I don't always see them do that when stuff be happening against the Chiefs. He did point out it was a call that went our way. I can't think of it on top of my head. I think it did go our way. No, it didn't. No, that wasn't it. He called out the play against Trent when they called Trent McDuffie for pass interference. Because when I was watching it live, I was like, I didn't see it any pass. I'm like, what's happening? What's the flag for? And all I saw was the receiver run right down the field, push McDuffie off of him in his chest, and they called a flag on McDuffie. I'm like, the receiver initiated the contact. McDuffie had already established position on the field. And the receiver moved McDuffie off of his spot, and they threw the flag on McDuffie. So I'm like, that's 2 weeks in a row. He done got a pass interference called against him that should have been on the offensive player because last week Jamar Chase pulled McDuffie down to the ground, and they threw a flag and called McDuffie. I'm like, how does he get called for defensive pass interference when the receiver grabbed him and threw him on the ground? I don't get that. Now this week, the receiver runs down the field and pushes him in the chest, pushes him off 2 yards, and he get a flag for this. And at that time of the game too, like we had that discussion. I was like, I'm not one of them fans that's gonna be like, you can't throw this flag or you can't do that or this at this point in time of the game. I'm not like that. But I'm just saying, like, this is a crucial time in the game, and you're gonna call him for pass interference or something like that when you know darn good and well he didn't even make the contact. He didn't even initiate contact. I don't see how you call pass interference on somebody when they don't initiate the contact. You know what I'm saying? The receiver initiated the contact. So that was a weird call. Like, it was a bunch of calls.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that was some bullshit.
There was a bunch of calls in the last 3 minutes going against the Chiefs. So I was like, okay, they really trying to give Atlanta every opportunity. But again, like, you just got to play through that. I don't cry about stuff like that as a fan, like most fans do.
Good, though.
I do. I did see that though.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking in my head, man. I hope all these fans across the country that keep saying the Chiefs get all these calls that in the crucial times of the game. I hope they saw what happened tonight because there was a lot of calls that went against the Chiefs in the final 2 drives that Atlanta had that could have really, took us out. Like they had to overcome the refs at the end of this game, and they did it. That's what good teams do.
I agree.
You just keep playing, man, because you can't control the referees. And we got a bunch of bad calls at the end of this game, but the mark of a good team is you're gonna play through that, and overcome it, regardless of how the calls is going. We got some calls at the end of the game too, but it was like the only call I can remember off the top of my head right away is They called him for legal hand to the face against Chris Jones. It's like you ain't got no choice but to call him. Like they literally ripped the man's helmet off his head. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta call that. You know what I'm saying? But we know they hold Chris Jones pretty much on every play, so they was really only calling what they had to call. Like okay, that dude's out here without a helmet. I guess we do gotta call a legal hand to the face for that one. You know, but they weren't really giving us too many breaks. But like I said, you know, good teams overcome the refs. Bad teams cry about the refs. You know, so Chiefs show what kind of team they are tonight. You know, and shout out to Harrison Butker, man. Don't be missing no more extra points. Oh, and also shout out to Matt Ariza, man, the punt guard. That was a hell of a play. Might have been a game-saving play when he caught that high snap and booted that ball, and we almost got a fumble off of that. Like that was a great play by the punter, man. Like that could have cost you the game because if he doesn't catch that punt, they might score off of that. You know, if that gets over his head and behind him, they might have scored on something like that. So for him to catch it the way he caught it and then be off balance and kick it 50 yards or however long he kicked that, and then they almost turned him over on top of it, like that was a big time play by the punter right there, man. Special teams been playing well the last 2 weeks. The special teams been playing a really good job out there, outside of the missed extra point. But I know Butker ain't gonna do that again. I don't know what happened on that. I think he was just tripping. But you know, he's human. But as long as it didn't hurt us. You know, so you got that out of the system. You know, I don't want to see that no more this year, man. Like you got to hit extra points. You know, you're the highest paid kicker in the league now. I don't want to see you missing no more extra points. But we overcame it. It's cool. Look like Patrick dinged his knee a little bit at the end of the game, but I think he's gonna be all right.
It was kind of weird. Talking about that slide.
I don't know what that was. I mean, he was trying to kneel. I kind of got caught halfway in between a kneel and the slide. I don't know. Yeah. He was just trying to run around and waste a little time before he took the knee, before they could call that timeout, so that they could get it in a situation at the end of the game where after they make them take their last timeout and they take another knee, that they wouldn't have to punt it. So it worked out, but it was just weird. Like next time when you running around like that, just make your mind up, dog. Either take a knee or slide, but don't try to slide in, take a knee. Like that's you look like you hyperextended your knee for a second or something with that. But we got out of there with a dub. That's all that mattered, man. Like at the end of the season, when we look back at this game, you're just gonna see a W in the win column. You ain't gonna think about some of the nuances of it. It wasn't the prettiest game. We wasn't firing on all cylinders, but we're a scary team to me, man. We're a scary team because we both know we still ain't seen this team play their A game. We ain't seen them play a B game yet. And they still winning. Yeah. So they're only going to get better from week to week, and eventually they're going to get healthier as well. Like I'm still thinking about certain players that never get mentioned. Like one of the players that I feel like we're missing a lot right now, that's going to make a huge difference when we get them back, is Charles Omenihu on the defensive line.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody forgot about him, but I'm telling you, when Omenihu get back, they're going to be causing some problems. Like, 'cause that dude he had over 5 sacks in like half a season worth of play last year. So, because remember he had to serve that suspension, before he could play, and then he ended up getting hurt. So he didn't even play a bunch of games, but he made have some nice sack numbers. Oh, and also shout out to Felix Anguizano with the strip sack tonight on Kirk Cousins, man. Like that was a big hit on Kirk Cousins. I don't think we got that ball, but he got it out of here. I think that's the play where Bijan kicked the ball out of bounds to keep us from recovering it. But yeah, FAU finally getting in there, making his presence felt. 2nd-year player out of K-State. You know what I'm saying? So that was nice to see him because that's the first time I ever seen him really do anything on one of his reps. So he finally got to the quarterback and made something happen. I'm like, all right, that's good to see. True. Justin Reed looks like he can't cover tight ends no more. But maybe it's just because it's Kyle Pitts,
Yeah, it seemed like he could have stopped that one pass. He was right there when they threw the pitch. I'm like, man, at least knock that mug out or something. But I'm still thankful for that one play he did. It was a big loss, so that was a good one when he did that. So I'm still cool with that. Mr. Reed.
Is it too early to say? Do we feel different about this defense now? Like we know the defense is a good defense, but I felt different about the defense tonight for the first time in a very, very long time. I feel like, is it safe for me to say this about our defense? And that is, can we trust our defense now? Like I think we can trust our defense now.
I
I,
think we, I think we can. I think we can, but I think on the same end, we still got to keep it balanced. And, we can't just have turnovers like that with the interception and stuff like that. But if we can just come out and just keep it balanced, But when we do get in situations though like that, I think we can trust our defense to be able to get us out. It just depends on if we can keep the mistakes down. Because if we create more mistakes, then the defense keep getting on there all the time, going back and forth. How long can they hold up? So,
that's why I'm glad that
but
Andy Reid
I
be
think
running
it'll be
running
good
them
though.
hard training camps so they conditioning be good where they don't wear out. That's why he run them hard training camps. But yeah, it was a weird feeling for me tonight. After the night, I was like, I said to myself, dang, you know what? I think I'm at the point as a fan where I feel like I can trust my defense. Like, and what I mean by that is like I know they good, and I trust them to not go out there and give up 35 points. You know what I'm saying? Like tonight's game they look like more back to themselves this week because they only gave up 17, which is about what they gave up last year for the whole year. They gave up around 17, 17.8 up in there. So this is kind of right on cue for how they normally play. And that's with a
Mm,
turnover. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
I felt like, dang man, am I at the point now as a fan where I can trust my defense? Because normally in a game like tonight's game, um, I want that ball in Patrick Mahomes' hands at the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? And you feel nervous when it's the other side of the ball that's on the field. And what I'm saying? Like you it got
Yeah,
to
I
a
don't
point
know.
where you
Man,
it got to a point where you knew we weren't going to get the football back. We're gonna have to win this
mm,
game on the defensive side of the ball. The offense ain't getting another opportunity. They had their opportunity, they went three and out. Typical Andy Reid, right? Went three and out. Being too
yeah.
conservative, right? Scared to throw the ball. Like you throw the ball any other time, but right now we need to get two first downs and we out of here. Now you want to run all these conservative run plays. We get shut down, give the ball right back, you know what I'm saying? Three and out. And, the way they were managing the clock and, running the ball and different things, it came to a certain time watching it live, like, okay, we're not getting the ball back on offense, so we're gonna have to win this game on defense. And that made me nervous. Like it was feeling like they're gonna manage the clock just right, score this touchdown, and we're not gonna have time to do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're gonna
Well,
steal
we
this
still
game
win.
away from us. So if we win this game, it's gonna have to be on the strength of the defense, and they stepped up and won the game. You know what I mean? So now it's like, all right, we don't just have a good defense. We got a defense that can close the game out for us if the offense drops the ball, which tonight they dropped the ball. You know, Patrick Mahomes is the guy quarterback. Like, dude, you got to go out there in that situation and get three first downs and get up out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're supposed to do. You didn't need points. You just needed to get about three first downs, and that game would have been over. And you go out there and y'all go three and out and give Atlanta the ball right back. You know, they ain't even got to use no timeout or anything. You know what I'm saying? Because it was enough time on the clock. So that was disappointing. Because normally in a situation like that, Patrick Mahomes is going to end that game, and the other team is not going to see the football. But to give it right back to him, and the defense barely got a chance to get a glass of water, and they right back on the field having to hold these guys. You know, shout out to the defense, man. Hats off to them, man. Like that was
Yeah, man.
a gritty win, man. Like, and you got to give all the credit to the defense because we definitely could have lost that game if the defense hadn't stepped up and did their job, and particularly Nick Bolton. And also, shout out to the defense for keeping their head in the game because it was some crazy flags getting thrown on that last drive for Atlanta that a team that's not mentally strong could have melted down in that situation with fresh. Like think about what happened with Jamar Chase last week. You see what I'm saying? Like when you're not mentally strong, you could have melted down in a situation like that because there was some bad calls going against them at the end of that game, but they kept their head in the game and just kept playing.
Yeah.
You know, kept making plays, and
Yeah,
they came out on top.
We're gonna keep our listeners stay in tune, man. We're gonna please like and subscribe for this one. This is the chief one right after the game. So we
Yeah, like and subscribe because it does help the algorithm, and we just a new channel getting started right now. We just now starting, so for the few subscribers we've gained over the last couple of days, appreciate all of y'all for that, and appreciate every listener and every like. You know, just keep checking in, keep tapping in with us. We're gonna try to
back to MS4L.
yeah, try to stay consistent with it, man. But good game, good win. You know, like Belichick would say, we on to Los Angeles now, man. Get ready for these Chargers, man. They always play us tough, you know. So
tap in for Moan for his opinion on the game for the next episode, and then we'll be talking about the rest of the games and the Monday night game.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be getting school back, you know, sooner than later. Hopefully, so we'll get another good perspective on some of these games as well. But that's gonna do it for tonight for the Music Sports for Life podcast. This is Maze and Bus.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And we 3-0, man. That's all that matter, bro. We 3-0. It don't matter what it looks like, it matter what the result is. You know what I'm saying?
3-0, baby.
3-0.